Welcome to the U.S. Open 8-Ball Championships, proudly presented by CueSports International and hosted here in Las Vegas at Griff's Billiards. Let's meet our opponents for our next match, which is alternate break, race to 8. First up, hailing from New Zealand, let's put our hands together for Marco TEUTSCHER. And his opponent from the United States of America, Skyler WOODWARD. Gentlemen, have a great match, and you may lag for break.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the U.S. Open 8-Ball Championships right here at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is George TEUTSCHER in the booth with Jeremy Jones, and we've got another great match for you guys. This was a top-of-the-line match in the 10-ball. Let's see what we do in the 8-ball, but this is Skyler WOODWARD and Matt TEUTSCHER.
Our now defending and crowned champion of the U.S. Open 10-ball just, 15 hours ago. And I think, ironically, these two are meeting in the third round on the winner's side, just like the 10-ball.
Yes, it was exactly the same. They had one heck of a match.
And Skyler really got going after that on the loser side after losing that match and got all the way down to 5th, 6th before he got beat by Thorsten Holman on day 3 of the 10-ball. Expect a pretty high-powered match as far as both of them break the balls real well. So I expect balls down on the break.
And I believe both these guys won their first match earlier today at noon. And here we meet at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they meet each other again.
Well, I like the solids if the 8's very available. If the 8, like from where the 4's at, if he can make the 8, immediately I kind of like the solids. I know the 1's tied up and you can make the 13 right now, but he could take a chance on the break here now. Things could go a little wrong because he's a little thin on the 2, so hit this as easy as you can. That way nothing else ties back up and you produce some type of shot.
So now his only real problem is the 6 ball down by the side pocket.
Yeah, and that may be the last ball he plays after the 4 and then just come across the table somewhere where the 4's at to cut the 8. I didn't mind him playing the combination first here instead of the 1. Just because the 1 really lends getting to the 4 ball pretty easy. Now the 3 does the same, and so will whichever. I guess that'll be the 7 after this combination is made. The thing on the 4 is he's going to have to want to get an angle and just not too much of an angle. Don't want to shoot the 6 from straight in on the 4 is the 4's at. Excuse me.
Just a little bit of an angle on the 6 to take the speed off it coming off the rail.
Yeah, and you definitely, as George just mentioned, you want to have the angle going into the rail because you can slow that angle down. If you get thin going, like say towards the 8 and 10, well now you may not be able to hold the cue ball up. This is a little bit less of an angle than I would have wanted, but still very doable because you don't want straight on the 6 anyways.
No. I think he goes forward a little bit.
Yeah,
just like he just pointed out. He'll go forward a little bit, probably to the rail because he's got to, and then come out.
Get
straight.
Off the rail. Yeah, that's very, very important here. You can handle whatever angle it is if you get off the rail, even if it's thin,
just like
even if it's thick. Yeah,
that's perfect from Skyler.
And a pretty solid out here, and I think pretty good decisions overall.
Now just
easy. That one kind of.
He's okay.
I wouldn't say skid, but kind of caught a little bit.
We don't want to see any skids. It
was
played a big factor in his loss to
in the
to
tournament.
Marco.
In the entire tournament, it played a big factor.
Sure.
That skid did. Because Marco went on to losing the hot seat, but he won a few more matches after that win over Sky. Okay, a nice out
first
there.
First one down. Nice break and run by Skyler.
Yeah, and you had mentioned in our, I think, opening match of the day that you wanted to see Marco break the balls.
I was watching him practice. His break is good. It's strong. It's hard. but not as controlled as his 10-ball break was.
Okay.
He's losing the cue ball a little bit.
Or you think that extra row is making him want to add a little speed?
He is. He's giving it a little bit, a little more speed. He's really, like you explained, Tyler's break. He hits him. He's got a lot to go. He was giving it that more to go.
Right.
And let's see what he does here on this break.
And I think with a good rack, and these guys are going to be making every effort to give themselves a good rack, that's for sure.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about any manipulation of the rack, just a good solid froze rack. I think still that 70% pop, 65, 70% pop is the way to go.
Now,
We saw that with Ronis in our first match just as much as anything today, probably. The most convincing thing of the entire day was probably James Aronis's break.
It was just devastating.
So far, anyway.
So far. Tyler's was fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
I'll take either one.
Yeah, for sure. I was just probably James was a little bit more. They looked alike there every time.
See how the control there? See that cue ball get away from him?
And not as good at openings either.
Because of it. Well,
exactly.
the ball's in the air and stuff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe flatten out a little bit more and a little less pace.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about the pace, just a better pop on the cue ball because it was flying down there. On the way down, it was flying. But Marco went on to win the 10-ball. His only loss in the tournament was to Dennis, 9-6, but he came back and defeated Dennis, 11-9. But he had some tough matches along the way. I mean, he defeated Shane 9-7, Torsten Homan 9-7. That was a great match. All of his matches were real strong. 9-8 against Skyler. Skyler again.
I don't think Sky has too many worries here. Like, you don't have to always play him so clean, especially when you have an open side of the table. He's going to go with solids, but I really would look at stripes because, well, the 9 doesn't pass the 5. I thought it passed the 5, excuse me. If the 9 doesn't pass the 5, that makes a big difference.
Goes to the side, though, or once he clears the 12 and the 10 to the corner.
Right, but you got to get to the 13 as well. But what I was going to say, and it'll apply later on, is, like, say the 9 did go. Well, you can shoot the 9 and go into the 12 and knowing that side of the table is very clear and you got the 13 there. Like, don't be afraid at times to go into balls is my point, especially when it helps you out. But it really doesn't mean much here because the 9 doesn't pass, and probably had a lot to do with why he took the solids. Because he's got a little bit of work to get at the 5 right now. He's got a hold probably on. He's going there now, and if he falls on the rail, this could get hairy quickly. Okay, very aware of not getting straight on the rail. So you come all the way up now?
You just make sure you avoid that 13 ball and come back up, yes.
I mean, for the
4-7. 4-7, yeah.
And the reason
or the
why,
3. Or the 3.
Yeah, but the reason why is if you have to rely on getting from the 3 to the 4 doesn't go. But if you rely on getting from the 3 to one of those balls, he wanted to go far enough to play the side pockets. He wanted to shoot the 3 in the side and fall for those. And the side is what he wanted. And that's maybe why I would have went ahead and went all the way up and tried to get on the 7 right there, because you can always have the 3, right?
Well, that's where I thought
I
thought he was going.
So a little execution required here. It's got to go.
Oh,
it's got to go a little bit.
Okay,
he's going to be all right.
Okay.
Now, do you shove this because he's a little off angle? Do you shove into the 4, or do you try to cleanly draw off the 4?
I cleanly draw it, and if he does move the 4 a little, it won't be much. And
it won't hurt him much, right?
You should be straight in. You'll still be good.
Looks like he's hitting about center ball. Oh, kind of short-stroked it a little bit.
And he hit it thick.
Yeah, and that's why when you short-stroke it, you don't quite turn the ball as much because you're not thorough, so you don't quite turn the ball as much.
There was a wasted opportunity to steal Marco's break and take a quick lead.
Yeah. And we saw Marco in their 10-ball match, actually, with Skyler, which was our first look at Marco in the 10-ball tournament. Yes. He struggled with the break there. Played pretty much a perfect match besides getting snookered. Ooh, he gets thin on the 13.
Yeah, he's very thin.
Yeah, he's got some cue ball movement. He's got all the stripes down table, though. So.
Yeah.
But you would think he might have wanted to peel off the 12 or the 10 there, right?
Well, it'd be nice to be able to go to the 12 and the 10 off of this ball and then go uptown.
Right, because the 8's really open. The trouble is the 12 and the 10. Even though, you know, most likely he'll find a way.
He'll get there probably, gosh, maybe from this next shot. He'll take care of these two here. Yeah, he'll go here. I didn't think he'd shoot the 14 ball.
Still nothing's, I mean,
he could go
nothing's
there now.
becoming just really natural to me to get on the 12 and 10 yet. Not yet, anyways. He could draw on the 14, I guess.
He could have got there now.
Well, no, he's good. Punch to the center of the table and then draw off the 14 underneath. Yeah, just like that. Now, it's because the 12 really is, all you got to do is get to the side pocket. You got the 12. So he's in good shape. And what I was getting at earlier is when they played in the 10 ball, is really played a flawless match as far as besides the break. He struggled a lot on the break, breaking drive many times. He actually went to the end rail to break the balls. He tried the softer one a couple times. And so with him breaking dry here in game 2, that's big in 8 ball because it's not like 10 ball where the one might get safe if you break dry. It's
you got
about 99% of the time you're going to come away with a shot.
Yep. Not very often do you not get a shot at the opening rack because you can pick either one. We are playing CSI rules. It's ball in hand anywhere on the table after any scratch, and you don't lose if you pocket the 8 ball.
You don't win.
I'm sorry. You don't lose if you scratch on the 8 ball, as long as the 8 ball stays on the table. But if you pocket the 8 ball in the wrong pocket, you do lose.
Yeah,
I got that
make
wrong.
the 8 out of turn.
Sure, make it out of turner. And he went on to win this game, so we're tied at 1. Alternate break format, race to 8. We're sponsored by CueSports International, Kamui, Predator, Discount Custom Apparel, Simonis Cloth, JB Cases, and I believe and Cyclop Balls. They are using the Cyclop Hyperion on a 9-foot diamond with Simonis Cloth. This set of ball comes with 3 extra balls, the 8, 9, and 10, with as you'll see on the 8 ball, with the emblem on one side and a big 8 on the other.
Okay, the tempo was good, but a little miss on the head ball there and escaped a scratch in that left side pocket. But he's okay. He's got a shot. Yeah. Stripes look pretty good.
This looks good for Skyler here. I like the stripes from the get-go here.
Yeah, he wants to stay off of straight in somehow, so he may not shoot the 12 now. I think he's okay to shoot it, though, really. He can come across if he feels pretty comfortable just beating the 6 here. He could bump the 6. He could do a number of things with the 6. Okay, got it down. Still going to be that little bit of a
spot.
Yeah, but I mean, with the 9 and the 14, I mean, should still be just fine. I wouldn't wait too much longer on these two. I know he kind of feels like straight in could be a problem if he falls it on the 13, but I don't think that's even that much of a problem. He can draw back for the 9 on the side. He can he'll be close to it, so he can probably, maneuver the cue ball some type of way. Now we are playing all ball fouls, so he's got to be aware of that. Oh, yeah.
And that's what he didn't like about that
but
ball.
Why
Was
did he
coming
come
off
down?
the 13.
Why did he play it
he
so
overdrew
hard?
It. He just overdrew it. I guess he's got some adrenaline going through him.
Yeah, but that's just when you just kind of dink in, isn't it? I mean, the camera does fool us, George and I.
He might have to jump this 2 ball and make this 14 on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. I mean, he may be snookered on that, but it's a lot less of snookered than the other ones. Rail first, maybe?
Can you go rail first underneath it? That could be.
Yeah, and that's the type of table that it'll really turn the ball well for you, so you don't have to hit it very hard.
If he comes up, he should have a shot on the 9. Possibly the 11.
Yeah, I think maybe even the 13 because it's thin. The cue
ball's
going to have some speed, if he hits it well. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Nice shot. He needs a little bit of a roll, and he's got the 11. He's got the 11. Now he's got to stay. This is touchy again. Once you start getting out of line because of all that traffic.
If he can roll down just a little, he can get a good angle to come back up for the 13 off the 9.
Yeah, he's got to get past it, but not too thin either. You can handle a good.
You better go.
One good thing is he can cut the 13 from about where the 9's at as well. So that was one plus going for him. Like I'd rather do that than get super thin on the 9, making sure I get that angle. Is he going around it? Okay,
no,
nice
he just
shot.
stunned it up.
Ooh, he needs an angle. Gonna have to draw his ball, and the 6 is a little bit in the way.
He'll draw right underneath it, and I back out. Or will he take the long shot?
No, I don't think he's going to take the long shot. I think he's got to take a chance here. Uh-oh.
That's a little more than you want. Well, he's okay.
That's
he's
sweet.
Perfect.
That's sweet there.
It would have been more than I wanted because that side pocket scared me.
And Sky had a miss with the. I'd commented a little bit short and jabby on the stroke, and when he stays full, he's pretty accurate. I'll tell you, he's pretty accurate, anyways.
Well, you know, these guys, it looks like they started their 8-ball match just the way they started their 10-ball match. They went rack for rack for rack for quite some time. Marco won the first one, and then Shane won 2, and then they were rack for rack. Sky, thank you.
Yeah, they went rack for rack for like 8 in a row or something.
Yeah, quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Yeah, eight racks in a row. They went rack for rack.
And
so
talked about it in the 10-ball, but we see he could certainly break the balls, and he's got the frame to really be able to break the balls, like maybe a Kachi or something similar like that. But can he change speeds when needed and still produce results?
Well, he hit that with a little more control, but again,
dry break.
He's dry.
Yeah, that tells you how well he played.
There's not too much of a starting point, though.
Well, the 2-ball's not bad. The 2's pretty easy combo, and if you cover that pocket with the 10, the only concern is the 8, really. But I'll tell you, that tells you how impressive he was as far as playing the game of 10 balls. He dealt with that dry break in many matches for 2 or 3 or 4 games. And that can be the turning point if you don't hold it together.
Well, I'm not sure if the 8-ball passes the 10, but there won't be anything else. He's got balls to get to the 8 for every pocket but the one on the right where the 10-ball is.
Yeah.
So.
And this is where, if he really thinks the 6 is important to leave for the 8, I don't think it is. So if the 6 can get you a little straighter on the 1, I do that, and then I'm better on the 5, and then I'll move for those 3 balls in the center of the table, I think, anyways. Maybe not. Because there's not a great path to get from like the 5 to the 3-4, is there, once the 1's gone? Is there?
The 1 to the 5 is.
I might draw back right now.
And go for the 5 now?
Well, no, get one of the 3 and 4 gone, just one of them. That way it kind of opens up going through that area a little bit. But definitely you got to get at the 5. There's no doubt about it.
I think it's coming right after this.
Okay, if he gets elevated, this could become a little tough, and he got just past it. So this is the path that I was telling you isn't so easy to hit, from the 5 to those balls in the center. So I may pull off one of those balls trying to open it up, and then if I can get at the 5. Like say I shoot the 4 right now and bump the 3 open past the 13 a little bit. Does this make sense? So you shoot the 4, and bump the 3 past the 13 a little bit, just to where it goes in that upper left.
Stop it there for the 7?
Well, no, stop it there for the 5, and then I open up, getting back to that area of the table a little bit more.
Well, the other thing is if he plays the 4 and bumps the 3 ball past the 13,
it's easier to get to the 8.
It's easier to get to the 8, exactly.
Right.
He'll take care of the 7 and the 5, or the 5 then the 7.
And only because it's a little funny, this shot right here. He's stretched. If the 14 wasn't there, well, you just come across, right? And things aren't as bad. But I think he's got to do something else with one of these 3 before shooting the 5.
Yeah, he's just now looked at opening it up past the 13.
Yeah, just a little left English to make sure you bump it past, just like that. Okay, now you can shoot the 7 and go forward on the 5 and get out on the, well, don't pass that up. Now you got to look at that. 7 and then the 5 and then the 3 to get to the 8. I think so, yeah. Whether it be you got to roll into that little gap or not, I think it's still the right shot.
He's lined up to roll right through it.
And he can roll right into the face of that ball right there.
Just
That's
like that
yeah,
there.
exactly.
And now he can come up past the 11 for the 3.
Yeah, and just know you got to make a little bit of a shot on the 3, you know. Don't thread the needle here.
This is even better than drawing the ball past the 11, is to come out to the left of the 11.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, make a little bit more of a shot on the 3, you know.
Don't
remind that you're so good. These guys, if they remind themselves how good they are, they can handle a lot. That's what caddies do in golf.
They remind the players.
Yeah, they remind them, hey, you got this.
It's funny, we talked about that yesterday, and I got a text from a friend said you have a caddy, and he mentioned a friend that I talk to all the time.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing, you know, if somebody that knows your game and knows you and knows some of the right things to say at the right times. Doesn't have to be in the middle of a match. Be in the middle of practicing or, you know. That's one thing you miss in pool a lot of times. You know, we get to play as a team a few times a year, but
yeah, that helps.
But yeah, just that talking about pool outside of the pool room. You know, that's huge. You almost got to hunt for that at times if you're just out playing on your own.
Yeah, that's one of the things I had in Tucson was I always worked and I always just went to the pool hall and I went in there, played, and left. I didn't talk to people. I just walked in and walked out.
Well, that's probably because the time was precious.
It was.
And I'm the same way. It's weird when I did occasionally practice with someone else. I was like, I'm pretty serious when I practice, and I was always a firm believer in practicing by yourself, just so I could get the feeling I played my best pool in tournament play when I felt like I was by myself. Because really, most of the times, you're not going to change your decision according to your opponent. Now, in one pocket, different story, but rotation pool, rarely, you know, a rollout decision you might make different from one player to the next. Skyler WOODWARD to break off in 3-1. Got a chance here, especially the way Marco's struggling on the break. Hit those better. Hit those better, and then got the 3 down. Is he going to get anything? He's got a stripe.
He's got a stripe.
And stripes are playable.
Stripe, and that's about all he's got.
Yeah, he's got a difficult 8-ball to think about if you are stripes or solids, really.
Well, once the 13's gone, he can get to the 8-ball from the 10 very, very easy.
Yeah, and that's going to be what he hopes to shoot for is play the 10 and then the 13 last, like George said, and then he could swing around to the backside of the 8. He could even shoot a steep 8-ball on the side if he had to. Yeah, this is a choice game. Try to get on that 12, right? Well, is he shooting this ball off?
He's going to shoot the 10 ball now? No.
No,
he's not. He's shooting the 12 next. And now he's looking at.
Oh, he's shooting the 10, I think. And then I think he's worried about the 14. I don't see balls like that. I mean, I don't like to change my pattern. Oh, he's going to bump the 8. Okay. Better bump it nicely. And this is okay, you know. He could bump either one, the 2 or the 8. Oh, he hit it hard. Careful.
Oh.
Yeah, you go right in that side pocket. Those kinds of shots, I'd like to be closer to the 13 a little bit. That way I can really direct the speed. When I get long distance on those, become a little scary. But
well, that one gave him a little, made his heart pump when he went towards that side pocket.
And I don't mind the pattern that he chose there. Now, he's still got to do something for this 14 ball. He's waited on that for a piece.
Can you get it now? Off the 12?
I don't know. He could run into the 1. It's a pretty safe play. Yeah, like that. He did it a little bit more firm than I might have done it. But nevertheless, now he needs to look at this gap he's got between the 4 and the 6 to see if he can go forward and get on that and play for a lot of angle. If he draws behind, he's going to get a little flatter, and he's going to have to work a little harder. Top inside. See, the 4 plays a little kind of big.
Yes, she sure does. I think he comes down towards the 5.
Does he draw it here? He can draw between the 4-6 as well. But
I think he can follow it and come.
That's what he's looking at.
Oh, he's looking to draw on this ball. Okay.
Yeah, and another reason is he could come down and get jacked up on the 5.
Yes.
If he tries to beat the 4, so he don't let up on it now. That's the main thing on those types of shots.
He's okay.
Yeah. Don't let up on the stroke on those draws. If you try to guide that line, it's not good. And a nice out there to stretch that lead to 4-1. He had a lead on Marco in the 10 ball.
Yeah, they were neck and neck. A couple of mistakes cost him that match. He could have easily won that match against Marco. That 10 ball that they played a couple days ago.
He was going to get, I think it was going to get to 8-6, I believe it was, if he had not had that skid on the 8. I believe it was something like that. And you would figure, odds on favorite, but not, 3 games with these guys, just one bad thing happen. But yeah, it could have changed the whole tournament. It probably did.
Yeah.
Although Marco came off a loss against Dennis Urcullo where it ended up 9-6, but he was trailing 8-3, and it wasn't his best match. And I was pretty impressed how well he bounced right back on the loser side to get back to the final. Uh-oh. Okay, you called it. So far, that the control hasn't been there.
The control wasn't there on the break.
A few things. Well, he'd sure like to pick off this 3 ball pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was breaking hard, but wasn't getting a really good spread. I mean, that's not really a good spread. They're all off to the one side of the table, and the control of the cue ball.
All right, so this is probably you shoot the 3, the 4, opposite corner, stop, shoot the 2, come across, shoot the 6, and then just come one rail right down for that 7. I think that's the easiest way. Leave the 7 and 1 last. You got a big area between the 13 and 10 to get on that 7. Should be pretty easy off the 6, I think. You could do it off the 2 last as well, but I'd take care of the 3-4, I think, to start this run. Pretty sure, anyways. I don't know if he'll see that. Just 3 on the opposite side.
Sure.
Stop
like
shot.
Yeah. He's there.
Yeah, and then cut the deuce. Come
3,
across.
4, deuce, 6, down for the 7.
Yeah, I mean
1 and out.
I don't think the 12 really impedes coming down for the 7, right? You just come straight down the table across where the 4's at. And just, he's looking at stripes now?
No. Oh, wow.
Okay, that's all right if he feels like he can shoot the 11, right? Come across for the 12 is available. This is fine. Actually, I should have probably seen it, but I wasn't so sure the 12 passed the 6.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I think
this first shot's important though.
Yep.
He can't afford to get thin on the 12 ball because he really doesn't have a nice stripe to get back down here on the 14. So he did real well making sure he got heavy enough on the 12 because you need to get the 14 after. And now he's really in the clear.
Now he's really in the clear, yeah. And that's what I liked about the stripes there with the 3, 4, the deuce. It opened up immediately.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree with what he's done.
Sure.
I mean,
both were. I just
really the hard shot of the rack with the stripes was the ball in hand, and once we found out that ball went by the 6, that was. Because the hard shot of the rack going with the solids was going to be the cut shot on the 7, and you weren't going to be shooting that with ball in hand. You would have had to play like 4 shots ahead of it, right? You should still be able to do it, but. Okay, he's good there.
And saving the 10 ball to just stop the cue ball there for the 8.
I'd probably just as open as I'd probably play the 9 last probably, but just because you can shoot the 8 from way down table. I wouldn't move the cue ball here. I would shoot the 10 and just come off the rail with the 9, and you can shoot it from the entire right side of the table, really.
He's going to get a perfect angle on this. He's going to get perfect.
Yeah, he's good. I guess it was so easy, huh?
Yeah.
But I'm always afraid if I get a little thin one way or another on those.
Now you have to run the cue ball.
Yeah, which really should not be a problem anyways.
Again, you got to trust what you can do, remember?
Yeah. And can't fault Sky at all, really.
No,
not at all. I think he definitely picked the right balls.
You can't argue with
success.
all
the way.
You know, Sky in the 10 ball had a good finish. I mean, he ended up finishing 5th, 6th. But his 2 losses were heel matches that he could have won.
Right.
It was against Torsten. Made that great kick shot on him on the heel game.
No, that was against Corey.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah,
I still keep thinking of that.
Sky lost to, on the loser's side, let's see, in the 5th, 6th position, if I remember correctly, he lost to Thorsten. But but it wasn't the kick shot.
It wasn't the kick shot.
No, that was on one of the outer tables. That was the noon round on the final day. We had the hot seat match going.
That's right. I keep confusing those 2 matches.
I was saying it earlier. Really, that skid could have really changed the entire outcome of the tournament, because after that loss, Sky really played his best pool the next several matches on the loser side.
Sure, let's take a look. He loses and he beats Max Eberle 9-7, who's been playing very well.
Yeah.
He beats Junlung Chang 9-6. Yeah. Danny Olsen 9-7.
Kevin Chang too, right?
No.
Oh, okay. But after Jung Lun, he just and that Chang match really wasn't as close. No, he had him like 8 to 2 or 3.
Wow.
And then Chang won a few in a row. And now Sky in another great position.
So yeah, Skyler played very, very, very well in the 10 ball.
And Sky's in a real good spot here. He's got some work. And he's got a 10 that's probably going to keep him off the stripes. So he's got to get at a 5, a 6, and a 7 that are a little bit the trouble. But the 6 goes in the side. So, I mean, I think that's the ball probably to get on
the 5.
Maybe that's the ball to have the angle to drift over for the 7 by the 9 maybe. You know, you can shoot the 7 in the lower left, but you have to worry about the 9 ball. So. But not if you get full on it, huh?
Actually, if he goes, as I look at the way they lay, if he gets on the 6, stops it there for the 7, he comes up for the 5 from behind, from the side, just like this.
Yeah, he may do that. If he can beat the 9 ball now.
Yeah.
You got to. I'd like another one that I would like to be somewhat close to the 7. I don't want to be shooting it from further distance, because speed is crucial there, not only for the line of the cue ball. I mean, mainly for the line of the cue ball, so you don't hit the 9.
And he also wants an angle on the 5 to come out of there.
Yeah, a little bit. To get on the 1 and 3.
1 and 3, correct.
He would take straight in if it got there, just because he could stop and shoot the 3 and come up for the 1. But if he goes to the other corner,
well, that tells me that it goes by the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, he can play for the 5 last. He's got a lot of ways to come over off the 1 ball to play for the 5 last. So it just depends on how he got here.
He got pretty flat on it.
Yeah, that's.
But he can just roll forward a little bit and play the 1.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Play the 1 from there, shove over for the 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, and then you stop on the 5, and yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And you could play from the 3 to the 5, but that could become a little more difficult.
I like your first choice was off the 1 to the upper table and over for the 5.
Yeah.
To the bottom, and then
you
of course
could stop.
The 3. You just stop it there and just roll down for the 8.
Yeah.
It all sounds easy on paper, though, I'll tell you.
But these are the decisions you have to make. Meaning, you have to trust you can get out of this little situation. You know, do what you do. And it's kind of like that when you play 8 ball. Meaning, when you get to this, you're about to cross this bridge, and you got a couple of different ways you can cross it. If you know I'm going to stick to taking the shot, well, you accept it more. You're a little more confident doing it, and you just keep doing it over and over when situations come up.
Now you just got to make the shots.
Yeah.
And these guys do that very, very well.
Yeah, and that's the theory. Give yourself a chance to make that shot because you do it so well. I like that too, coming out slowly.
Out. There it is.
Knowing you have the corner open as well.
This will be a 6-1 lead.
Yeah. So far, our stream table is very feast or famine.
Yeah.
Very one-sided
Well,
matches so far.
Our opening match was 8-3. Our second match with Darren and Tyler was 8-2. And here we have this match at 6-1. This is a race to 8. The final match will be a single race to 10. This is double elimination tournament.
That'll be Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific.
That's right.
Oh, I saw that cue ball starting to bend towards that corner. Oh, he got one down. Okay, we'll see what he can do with it.
Yeah, the 10 and the 7 are locked up. The 4 and the 10 and the 6 are locked up. The 4 and the 7 are locked up.
The 8's a little hairy. I mean, the 8's a little, you know, it's going to open, you would think, at some time or another, especially if he
it clears the stripes around it.
Yeah, but if the 10 doesn't go, you got a little bit of issues. 10 may go, actually.
To the corner.
If it goes, well, then you're probably going to go with stripes.
And if the 10 goes, so does the 6. So the solids look real good here, too. You can play this 2 ball and stop the cue ball and then open up the 4 and then play the 4, 6, 7.
Yeah, probably the only reason he's going with the stripes is because when he has to shoot the 9, that'll open the 8 up a lot easier. If he really, he only has one pocket for, if he took the solids, he only has one pocket for the 8.
That's it.
Because
that was a great point.
Because that 13 he just knocked off, it covered up the 8 in the lower left. So the only pocket he would have had was the upper right. So I think it was pretty much just the 8 ball was telling him,
sure,
I better go with stripes. He got himself where the 9 was the one he wanted to shoot, but it became a hair missable. Nice shot there, and again, keeping that nice fluid stroke
and
when needed.
He's going to roll up on this 10 ball real nice. I don't know if he'll roll it or if he'll stun it forward.
I think he'll roll it. I mean, you're close to it. I think, you know, if he's another 2 feet away or something, he probably stuns it. Yeah. It's amazing how quickly things change in pool just from a little bit of distance, a little bit of the angle changing.
A little tiny angle change.
Yeah, it's just that's how immense the game is.
I call those the untangibles.
Yeah.
So many things that can go wrong. And
well, we see. Oh, my, he miscued. He slid off the right side of the.
This 10's going to help.
No.
Not enough.
That's just the way this match has gone. And I was just about to comment on Mr. TEUTSCHER. No, his Fargo. I was saying because I remember they were 1 point apart, but that will raise for both guys, I think, after this last 3 days results of the 10 ball. Certainly raise a bit more for Marcos than it will Sky's, but Sky went on to have a nice finish, 5th, 6th.
Sure.
Okay, good, good shot there.
Junling Chang. Let's see what these guys. What are these guys here? He had Chang's an 8-18. He's the closest to Shane. So, and he beat him, beat an 8-18, 9-6. That'll drive him up a few points. Just that by itself.
Well, I don't know if they get a win bonus as far as Marco's concerned, but also just speaking about his Fargo going up, but what a difference a day makes. You know, it's mainly been the dry breaks, but just a miscue and, you know, a scratch on the break, and it's just maybe a little bit of a hangover from the last 3 days. And I mean, this is big to him. This is all around. Also, this isn't just Oh, I won one tournament. I don't You know, I think the young man's trying to be very intense.
I'm sure he is. Jeremy just mentioned the all-around. We do have, it's 10,000 for first place in the 8-ball. It was the same in the 10-ball. But there's also an all-around bonus that has $5,000 involved. The winner of the all-around, they get 432 points, for instance, for first place, 252 for fifth, sixth. And then when you combine those together, the highest point leader there is going to get $3,500 plus an entry to the Predator World 10-ball come March.
Right.
And then, of course, second place with the all-around points will have $1,500.
And there's some kind of sweat to that because, you know, that tournament goes off a lot of rankings, right?
Yes, it does.
So if one of the highly ranked players here takes the all-around, well, that opens up another spot for someone on the rankings that would maybe have to wait for a wild card pick. Isn't that correct? Because they
That's
take
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use the rankings.
So say they take 16 off of whatever, you know, we'll just use that number. It's greater than that, but number 17 now gets to move into that ranking position and get in the tournament guaranteed.
That's exactly right, because they use this, like you just said, I thought it was a 16 World Pool Association WPA rankings for the
Well, I
first
think the
16
tournament
players.
out of the 64 had 40-something. They used 48, and then it goes off qualifiers and then exemptions, right?
They had 15 qualifiers, yeah.
Right, so it'd be like let's just say number 49 on the rankings now. Instead of the top 48 getting in, it would still be that way. But if one of the top 48 wins the all-around here, well number 49 would move into that position.
Here's Skyler breaking it 7-1.
A little confusing, but it does mean a lot to a bunch of people.
It changes things.
Yeah, exactly.
It
and that's what it's supposed to do.
Different players in.
That's what it's supposed to do. The variation is good.
Yeah.
And a very well thought out variation.
Sure.
Now, funny shot here. A funny opener. You want to get the solids, but does the 4 pass so easy? Can he knock the 1 into the 5-6? I would like to do that rather than shoot the 4 to a tiny pocket. Is that right, George? I think the 3 goes easily.
I think you want to use that 5-6 combo up there and start things off and stay with the solids.
You can even shoot the 10 into the 5-6. Say you can't get at the 1. You're allowed to play a stripe into a solid when it's open.
All you have to do is hit that 5 from somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's getting at the 1, I think. Or the 10. He's playing the 6, I'm almost 100%. Yeah, you got to do that. And
look at these ball tie out.
Yeah, he better have shape on something else.
He does the long shot on the 3. Wow.
He's looking at the bank now. And let's see what he can do here. He's all right, though. He can
shoot the 3 or the 7.
Be aggressive here. Shoot the 3 and try and produce something on the 2 to come at them balls, or play position on the 4 in the side to where you can cut it and come a few rails and break them balls out. So try and get something done here.
Yeah, he's got
I'd go right at the 13, 2 rails. Try and get the cut on the 4 and to the side where I can come 2 rails at the 5 and the 1. With having both solids there, if you break them open, I wouldn't try to play short side here, I don't think. Oh, he's come on 1 rail at him. He's going to get him, too. What a shot. Sometimes you got to let it go.
He did, and he got the right little kiss to get there.
And I'm going to ask if Skyler goes on to win this match, which looks like a pretty good percentage. He just draw around the 1 here, right?
He might just pocket the 5, shoot the 4, and then come back for the 1.
Yeah, but make sure you're getting easily at the 1. Like if you fall straight on this 4 or thin on this 4, things can get difficult to get at the 1. You may have to draw behind it, like because the 10's there, right? You can't go forward off it so easily. But I want to ask Skyler what, and he's going to have a funny saying about what he had to do right there to break them balls out.
Yeah, there's your stun.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now he's got to play
just come back a little bit. Be right back where he's at.
Yeah, he's got to go to the rail, though, so he's got to pay attention to the speed. He wants to get nice and full on this ball, so don't get hooked on the 10 doing so. Man, what a nice effort that was. Made that look easy.
And if he stops the ball there, he's got the 8 to the opposite corner.
And another landslide, you might call it.
Wow.
Here on the stream table. And mainly not from the other guys like playing awfully or anything, just the way it went.
the breaks had a lot to do with it, and of course the pattern play has had a lot to do with it. And Skyler Woodward takes a 8-1 victory over Marco TEUTSCHER, our 10-ball champion for the day. We'll be back at 6 p.m. with Torsten Homan and James Aranas. See you guys at 6.